Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 12th day of the 9th month of the year 2020. I haven't really done a video in a while. I think it's like 2 weeks. Been going through some stuff myself, but I want to discuss some serious topics, and I don't it's going to be disgusting, but here's what we need to discuss. 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Scott Wiener, a senator from representing the Bay Area of San Francisco Bay Area, California, who passed a state bill that pretty much no longer requires a predator of children to register as such at the judge's discretion. And well, we all know what the judges are going to do because they are all funded by you-know-who. So let me be frank about this. I am not part of the LGBT community. I never have been. I never will be. I don't fly the rainbow flag, although I am a gay man. And I have to tell you that people have been warning, I should say, for the past, I want to say 10 years minimum, that they were trying to normalize this kind of behavior, because if they can normalize it, then they can justify it. Well, if you've seen pictures from San Francisco Bay, you will note that it looks like Sodom and Gomorrah. And, well, I gotta tell you, it should look like Sodom and Gomorrah. You've legalized pedophilia practically, because you said that it was not inclusive enough. Scott Wiener, the same author of the bill that passed 3 years ago, that put no more criminal offense. You can't be prosecuted for knowingly infecting somebody with the HIV virus or AIDS. So I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about a few other minor things that you might want to think about. You have a man named George Soros who has vehemently hated this country for decades. He hates everything America stands for. He said it will be the culmination of his life's work when he brings her down. He hates us because we don't allow prostitution, we don't allow pedophilia, we don't allow child trafficking. It's a lucrative business for these elites. $450 billion a year or something like that. Crazy number. While we were all enjoying our Labor Day weekend on Monday of last week, the Port of Delaware x-rayed a shipping container that was heading to Europe, and it had in it 62 underage children. They were all kidnap victims. Mainstream media didn't cover it. No one covered it. And now we find out that Netflix is pretty much promoting child softcore, whatever. I will never turn on Netflix again. I will never turn it on again. I'm getting rid of my Amazon Fire Stick because it's loaded on there. I don't want it. I don't want that demon in my house. The main concern you should have is that former Obama advisor, Susan Rice, sits on the board of directors of Netflix. Why would she be there pushing the normalization of pedophilia? Why do you think that is? Because their idea is, and this is just my opinion, they figure if they can normalize it enough when it comes out who was involved with this, it'll take some of the heat away. I don't want any heat taken away from these people. If we have the evidence, we have the documentation to prove they did what they did, I want gallows used. I think I'm not even a parent, but I have a friend who has 3 children, and I can't imagine someone harming them the way these people are harming these kids. There's outrage on both sides of the aisle with this, and they just keep pushing forward. People are writing stories on how it's just showing how they get treated. It's trying to open your eyes to it. We know what's going on. You folks have been covering it up for decades. I want to know why Bill Clinton and his Department of Justice, when he had the House and the Senate, in his administration, why he didn't go after Mr. Epstein. I want to know why Mark Zucker's wife, the owner of CNN, his wife is best friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. We all know that guy didn't kill himself, dude. We know he's got too many names. So let's call it what it is. I want to know why Ambassador Stevens was left to die. I want to know why all of the information about the current governor of New Jersey is being filtered and scrubbed. We have the right to ask these questions, and they have a duty to answer them. If they don't, I'll take your silence as a guilty plea. The governor of New Jersey doesn't have the money to pay us our extra $300 for unemployment, but he had the money to send out Department of Transportation workers to every overpass in the state and remove American flags before 9/11. Where do you have the right to do this? You don't. You just showed your true colors, sir. We know who you work for, which is why we're not respecting you anymore. We never did. But now you're going to get some serious disrespect. If I ever see you, Mr. Murphy, if I ever see you, I think I would vomit. And I only hope the worst for you. I hope the worst for you and your family. And that's not nice as a Christian man who happens to be gay. But you are garbage. And I can only imagine, knowing what you did in Germany, how many times did you do that to your own kids? Your son got arrested for a DUI, but got out of it because you had all this money. Okay? How many other things did you buy off for your son? How many? Is he anything like you? Let's hope he's not. And you got Gavin Newsom running the Sodom and Gomorrah of the United States. I'm sorry, man. California's burning because the man upstairs is pissed. That's why California is burning. That, and you've got a bunch of Antifa crazies out there lighting it on fire. They're pushing climate change. Yeah, you're changing the climate pretty much. Yeah, you are. You're doing a good job of it. Dumping all that CO2 and hydrocarbons in the air. And that smoke. That's good. You folks are burning the West Coast down. That's amazing. All to hide your crimes because you're cowards. If you're so proud of what you did, if Scott Wiener's proud of what he did by legalizing, knowingly giving someone AIDS, by now legalizing pedophilia, and I've heard people talk about it, and they say, well, it's not really, it's up to the judge to make them. No. I don't give two flying shits An 11-year-old cannot consent. A 12-year-old cannot consent. A 13-year-old cannot consent. 14, 15, 16, 17 cannot consent with a person 10 years older than them. Sorry. And anyone who thinks that way needs to be hung from the gallows. End of story. Needs to be hung from the gallows. Sorry. It's not like these people lied about their age or had fake IDs. These people openly told you that they were, I'm 12, well, I'm 23, or I'm 22. So it's within 10 years, so it's fine, right? It's not fine. So now they might get a slap on the wrist, a fine. They don't even have to go, they're not even on probation. And the judge can say, well, you don't have to register. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. And you know the judges are going to back the senator because they want more money funneled to them. This is what they do. You got to ask, why is the mainstream media not reporting on any of this? Because the mainstream media are the customers. They are the customers. These are the customers of these elitist pedophiles, I'm telling you. And if they start reporting on it, they're going to lose their line. And that's crazy. So I don't want to hear the nonsense. This Netflix thing, if you can't read between the lines, hell, they're not even putting it between the lines anymore, man. They're throwing it in your face. They're throwing it in your face. They're literally holding it up right in front of you and slapping you with the right hand, saying, look, here it is. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Ladies and gentlemen, we got a serious problem here. They're pushing to normalize the MAP, which is a minor attractive person, and pedosexual in New York in the next 30 days. Mark my words. Today is the 12th. By the 1st of October, they will be normalizing this in New York. And they're going to have both coasts normalized, including New Jersey. New Jersey, you're in for a big, big surprise. He's going to start pushing forward bills that he's going to sign executive orders for in New Jersey that are going to literally take away the protection of your children. This is not about Democrat or Republican, ladies and gentlemen. This is about right and wrong. This is about right and wrong. And you're either to protect the children or you're not. You tell me. You tell me what is right and wrong. I can see a 22 or 23-year-old male dating an older gentleman. That's fine. Person's an adult. They've made an adult decision. If they can buy cigarettes, they can drive a car, they can work, and they can die for the country at 18, they can make a decision. But if you're going to lower this age of consent, then you better lower the age of entrance in the military. You better lower the age for cigarettes. You better lower the age for alcohol. You better lower the age for driving. Ladies and gentlemen, they tried to take the president out with a fake investigation. 2.5, 3 years, $40 million of our taxpayer dollars gone. Never going to see it again. It's gone. Then they did impeachment. Now they took the economy. They took our jobs. They locked us down. And now when that's all failing, the last resort, go after the kids. Ladies and gentlemen, those are not the rules of war. That's the rules of Satan and Lucifer and the devil. And let me tell you something right now. In the state of New Jersey, I can feel the evil. No matter where you go, you see it in the people's faces, you see it in their eyes, and it emanates from the ground, I'm telling you. New Jersey is on some sort of evil precipice, the same as California, Oregon, and Washington. You look at 7 years ago, what Lori Lightfoot looked like and what she looks like now. She looks like she's demon-possessed. I want you to take a look at the picture of the head health administrator for California. The media says she looks like Marilyn Monroe. She doesn't look like Marilyn Monroe. I've never seen a woman so pale in my life. I have white t-shirts that have more color than she does. She looks frail, thin. She looks demon-possessed. When you look at these people that are rioting and looting, whites and blacks, they look demon-possessed. They are on the side of Lucifer. And if you don't believe that, your eyes are not open, your head's up your ass, and you need to realize that they're coming after your kids. And I want to read you something. I'm going to read you something right now. Give me a second. This is a post. Let me see something. Stand by. Here you go. Justin Weaver. It was a post, I guess, from Parler. I'm not sure. I've got to look for him and see if it's there. But this is what he wrote, and he wrote this at 11:44 p.m. I'm assuming it was last night, but I will look it up when I'm done and post it. Never in my life did I think I would witness a domestic terrorism attack, especially right behind my house. I believe he lives in Washington State. We heard fireworks, walked out and saw a giant flash, and then a whole house engulfed in flames. A random car fire bombed it on Jennings, and I pray the family got out. Trying to keep my wife and daughter calm while quickly loading what we could to escape was hard. Watching suspicious cars full of people slowly driving up and down the street while trying to load, hoping nothing was thrown at us, is terrifying. I hope no one has to go through this, and whoever's doing this, just stop. Do you really want to murder innocent families? Everyone keep your head on a swivel, watch your street, neighbors, and most importantly, protect your family and everyone you can. And he has a picture of the house behind his, engulfed in flames, burning. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not in a war of Democrat versus Republican. Come on, let's call it what it is. This is an attempted overthrow of the United States by any means necessary. My message to y'all out there, anybody who listens, might I suggest you come together a couple of times a day, whether it be with your family or your friends or your coworkers, and say some prayers and ask that we get through this safely and we have minimal loss of life. Because right now, there was a guy arrested in Portland, I believe it was Portland, Oregon, last night. He was trying to ignite a gas main on a hotel. Do you know what that would have done? If there were people in that hotel, how many people would have been killed? Do you see what is going on yet? Or are you going to continue to sit there and say, I'm fine, everything's fine? You're not fine. We are not fine. This is not fine. We have a major problem here. And that problem is we have been infiltrated by communism and socialism. It's been happening for decades, and people have screamed about it, and you folks sat there and did nothing. The so-called leaders that were before Trump did nothing. They just let it happen. Nancy Pelosi out and out telling you how they manufacture fake stories and get them to the public. Wake up. No more. We can't rock you back and forth and say, come on, get up, get up, get up. No, we're going to flip the mattress. You need to wake up. You need to see what's going on. Because here's the deal. That Netflix thing, that bill that was just passed in California, that takes away the ability to be automatically put on a predator's list, guess what? Netflix is the next step. And when they pass this pedosexual nonsense in New York, we're stuck in the middle. California's burning. You can't get out that way. You're going to go into Canada? You'll get slaughtered. You can't go into Mexico. What's the only way out? Florida. Where are you going to go? Because if you think once it passes in New York, it's not going to pass in New Jersey, you're crazy. They're going to pass it in Jersey. Then they're going to pass it in Virginia. And suddenly you're going to see 60-year-old nasty men making out with 8-year-olds on the street. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, because if you do something, it's going to be a hate crime. We got to protect our kids. I don't have any kids, but if you see anybody that looks suspicious, do not be afraid to contact somebody. Call somebody. Report it. We got to come together on this, ladies and gentlemen, or we're screwed. I mean, we're half fucked now. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, they got your pants pulled down around your ankles and they're trying to fight you to bend you over. You better keep pushing back, otherwise you're going to have problems. I saw that, and with what went on in California last week and all the other news, I can't do it anymore. I can't sit here and read these articles because they're just so, there's no good news anywhere. I mean, the only good news that we've got, Trump's nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Now they want to get rid of the Nobel Peace Prize. When was the last time a president got nominated twice in 1 week? And he already said, peace is the prize. You can get rid of the medal all you want. The peace is the prize. I have a friend of mine who said, we give all this money to Israel. Yeah, we don't have to give that money to Israel if we can actually get other countries to recognize them so they don't need this defense anymore. They can work together. You got four countries over there now that recognize Israel, that have active trade with Israel. You think this man's doing it because he loves Israel? No, he wants to stop giving them $11 million a day. He doesn't want to have to pay them that way. He doesn't want to have to help them that way. He'd rather do trade with them rather than have to supply them with money to to defend themselves. Think about the long term. Think about the long term, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. If in 2 years, every Arab state has a trade agreement with Israel and everybody's making money, we can pull our money away and no one will even know. We don't have to worry about paying for them anymore. They can carry themselves. End of story. If they want to squabble over little land differences, let them. As long as we're not involved. We don't need to be involved over there. We have no right to be over there. We have no... Our priorities are right here. Our country's on fire and we're worried about what's happening in Iraq and Afghanistan. Are you effing kidding me? I mean, you're dog-styling me at this point. The entire West Coast is on fire. And it's not from lightning strikes. People are setting fires. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of praying is needed, I'm telling you that much. God bless. Be well. And remember, keep your head on a swivel. Never let your guard down at this point. God bless all.